Yu-Gi-Oh! Players felt more disappointed lately, more so than usual. Make sure you guys smash the like button, that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. We're going to start off over here with the Trident Dragion situation, where most people, including me, were expecting, June, July to roll around the corner here. You'd be able to pick this up and be able to play the deck. Well, Konami really did mean what they meant when they said, go ask your friend for a Trident Dragion for this WCQ season. The reprint announcement for, August, September hasn't really, it affected the card a little bit, but not enough to knock the card off of its, crazy all-time pedestal that we were seeing out here. I think this is why people are, super disappointed in the situation right now, is you looked at, you could get a pretty decent core for, $50 for the deck, and you had all the extra deck stuff. Most of the staple stuff was reprinted. The only real things that kind of eluded you were, the $50, $60 for the heat waves. And then to top things off, you just needed, a Trident Dragion. That's an extra, 140, actually up to like 160 that you kind of had to pay for the DLC cost to be able to play this new deck core that was a tier 1 deck. And I don't disagree with people here. I think it's a missed opportunity on Konami's behalf just to punt this beyond the battle set, because I think everybody agrees. Should have been in battles, would have been in time for the WCQ season. People that wanted to play the deck for fun would have had the chance to do so. Now you don't get the chance to play the deck until after the second wave of support, where the deck is up on the chopping block, which means if you spend all this money to, get these cards, well, ugh. And I mean, Trident Dragion doesn't come up at all points. I mean, it's a card that you look at and you're like, wow, this really does help in a lot of situations, but I understand perfectly. Rarity Collection 2 situation. So, RCO1 was the golden child. It had a good price point. It had the chance to get players some of these crazy, crazy cards that they wanted, and higher rarities that, for whatever reason, we hadn't had up to, whatever point. I mean, looking at you, Ultimate Ash Blossom. Actually, it's mainly just Ash Blossom that I think runs that set. We can disagree, like Forbidden Droplets and Nibiru's, but a lot of these higher end staples already had OTS Ultimates. A lot of people already kind of committed to those OTS Ultimates. So kind of looking at how things were for that set, I mean, it just checked all of the crazy, boxes you wanted to see. Now, RCO2 came down the pipeline here, and me included, I said, this is a Ghost from the Past 2 situation. I know saying I told you so 30,000 times over, but you up the price point. Yes, you also adjusted ratios in the pack, sure, but, the average duelist can barely afford $70, $80 a box. And now you're like, give me 120. Oh, that's just on TCG Player. These things are, retailing for a little bit more out here. What, $10 a pack, 18 packs a box? That's what, $180 MSRP. So, yeah, that's not what you want to be seeing right now. So I understand why, people are a little bit disappointed. Also, the card choices in the set left a little bit to be desired. But don't worry. It's okay, guys. It's okay. We'll get them with Rarity Collection 3. Exact same price point as RCO2. And don't worry, only 1/3 of the set will actually be things that you guys want. Yeah, that's kind of... Isn't that just RCO2? Oh, it's okay. We'll get them in Game 3. That's all it is. It's just a quick money grab. And that's okay, I guess. Former card prices. So if you remember, I mean, this is May right now. This is actually kind of crazy to think about. Back in February, March, we saw that so many people were just pissed off at the game. Price points were actually at the craziest that we saw, and actually recording this 2 months later at this point in time, actually 3 months later, we're coming off of those all-time highs. I mean, Fire was like $1,000 deck. I'm not saying that, the game has cheapened up. It really has. Like, Wanteds have come down a lot. RCO2's putting, the further smash down on the market. It's just these more specific cards that you need in order to play the game are still going to be expensive. I mean, look at Msetti, you know, look at SP Little Knight. There will be reprints of these cards as time goes on, but people are just, they're still coming off of the anger that they felt at those extremely high prices not even 3 months ago, and I still understand why people look at this game and like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is just so expensive. Yeah, it is, but so is Lorcana, alright? No real jabs at Lorcana, but I was considering getting into it. But like, if I'm looking at $500, $600, $700 just for a meta deck, no thank you. And that's a major thing when you're looking at these games out here. You know, price point will always be a gatekeeper. Yu-Gi-Oh's no stranger to being a gatekeeper out here for these sorts of things, alright? We all know that this game is massively, massively expensive, but right now, in May 2024, the price has come down quite a lot. It might not be where you want it to be. You know, I'm sorry there's no $10, $20, $30 deck that you can pick up and play, but it's better than it was back in February, March with that stagnancy. Now, speaking of stagnant meta, this is also going to be the same thing out here. Right now, the game kind of still feels like we're at that stagnant meta point. And I think a lot of this still has to do with the Wanted Snake Eyes package kind of being this looming shadow that has been sitting here for quite some time. And it's the same thing that kind of happened with Tier. And I have said that this format is way more tolerable than what we were dealing with just a few months ago. All right, and I do mean that wholeheartedly. Playing against Snake Eyes is tolerable right now. Nibiru is your best friend. Yes, they can still play through it. It's enough to handicap them to get the game back to your turn. And those are the major things that you actually care about. You want to make sure that you can play the game, all right? It's not like an absolute, you know, close blowout sort of situation. No, it's these sort of situations that you look at in the course of the game right now, and you want a little bit of a back and forth, you know. The hand traps being, you know, a lot more relevant now than they've been in the past, I know is a little bit disappointing to people, you know. Ooh, gotta play 18 hand traps, you know. It's, yes, I understand that many hand traps can be disappointing. But the meta, you've got some decks that can still do well. The localized meta has actually, it looks really good right now. Obviously, the regional meta is very, very duke it out, you know, rock'em sock'em robots. The top end of the YCS meta is a completely different creature because, you know, these decks are actually grinding it out very, very strongly. But that's one big thing. Locals will always be a different creature than what we're used to seeing in a lot of these other things. So, for now, the stagnant meta has been a major thing. Now, I want to give hope here, all right? And, well, there is the good with the bad. You know, we're heading into battles. It's reprints. You have tins on the horizon, but you have Infinite Forbidden. And it's not going to take a genius to tell you that Mulchummy is going to be a secret rare. Wait, Konami might not actually... nah. We go through the... If you haven't noticed, if you've been playing this game for a while, we have what's called the cycle. Alright? Everything go down, new set go up. Alright? And I have a feeling that Infinite Forbidden is going to leave a terrible taste in a lot of people's mouths out here. And I'm going to say, it's May. It gives you June and, well, some of July. This is about 2 months. Kind of plan ahead out here and get ready for, you know, the cranial drop of the year that's coming. I do expect some crazy, crazy things kind of be coming down here as we head on into Infinite Forbidden. Basically, anytime that you can actually look down the pipeline out here and actually have the chance to be prepared, you want to take advantage of that. You want to make sure that you can always be ready to, you know, just get the next best thing available to you. And that's one of the things I strive to do on this channel, is try to inform everybody of what's kind of happening in the world of Yu-Gi-Oh! And so forth. So, there is hope on the horizon for the current cards that you might be missing in terms of price points. I get that. But with the good, there always will be a bad. And, you know, we'll always be disappointed in something. That's just kind of how the game works anymore. So what do you guys think? Please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later today, guys. Peace out. Patrons! Thank you. Ah!
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.